Okay, so let's dig into part 2 of selling heat pumps. So part 1 was all about education and helping clients understand the difference between the different types of HVAC, so single stage, 2-stage, variable speed, and then also the 6 functions of HVAC, so what every system should be capable of delivering. So once they're up to that kind of speed, you've kind of set the stage for figuring out what they want to do and what a project might look like. So these are the 3 things that you want to figure out next, which is what are their goals, what bothers them about their house, what does their house need in order to achieve those goals, and what is their budget for achieving those goals, because sometimes they're going to have champagne taste on a beer budget and you want to understand that. So figuring out the budget is mainly about the value, what is it worth to reach the goals, not so much what will it cost. And if you can get those 3 things figured out, you've got an idea of whether they have a viable project or not, and you can offer them different options to get there. And how do you get to all this? You ask them a lot of questions. So we've come to really like this phrase, asking questions is usually the answer. So their goals are going to come in 4 different categories. So there's comfort, which is little Johnny's room is too cold in the wintertime, or the addition is too hot in the summer, or the family room, or whatever it might be. Or a common one we've had in the last couple of years, which is that the master bedroom is too warm to sleep in the summertime. So the husband usually ends up sleeping on the couch to be comfortable. Number 2 is health and safety, so that's asthma and allergy problems usually. Number 3 is durability, that's usually moisture problems or bug problems. And number 4 is efficiency. Those are the 4 categories. So the first 3, those actually sell stuff. They're worth real money to solve. And if they're not, which we'll dig into when you figure out goals, you're going to have people rank how important they are. You're going to figure all that out. But those 3 are really good for helping people understand the value in bumping up in quality of HVAC equipment. And again, if you can help them understand the sizing, so right-sized variable speed equipment, that's naturally going to land you in a heat pump without actually talking about heat pumps. Now the 4th one, efficiency, this does not sell. As soon as you mention efficiency, you're going to get the hated question of what's the payback? There is no payback. We do pretty advanced projects in Cleveland. The paybacks on our projects are usually between 50 and 500 years. We had one that came in at 997 and it executed because it was worth achieving these goals to the homeowner. That is the curse of efficiency. It's one of the only things that actually saves some money. So it enters in, nobody cares about countertops. The granite countertops payback, I don't know, I want a nice kitchen. And so people want nice houses. So help them understand what they actually want. So you start off by asking what their goals are. And then you want to prioritize those. So this is part of the HVAC 2.0 report. Talk a little bit more about this in a minute. You want to have them rank all of their goals, and you want them to be as emotional as possible, like I can't sleep with my wife in the summertime, and have them rank them on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being not a problem and 10 being fix it now. And if you do that, you really begin to figure out what's going on and what's important to them. Because sometimes budget's always going to be limited to some extent, but based on budget, you may be able to deal with a couple things, but not with some other stuff. And you want to understand what's most important. Also, some stuff's an annoyance and people are just whining. So if they talk a lot about something and then give it a 2, they're whining. That's not actually a problem. That's an annoyance. And either they need to stew in that problem for a while until it becomes a bigger issue, or they need to stop whining. Either one of those options is fine. But if nothing else, you know whether it's a problem or not. So next up, you need to understand what the house needs. And these are the tests that are really best for doing this. So blower door test to test the air leakage of the house. We're going to come back to air leakage because that's the biggest piece of sizing HVAC correctly. You want to run an infrared scan if at all possible. Do zonal diagnostics, see which rooms leak more than others. test the external static pressure of the system to see if it can handle the new system. I mean, if it's already running an inch of static, if you're putting in a new piece of equipment with an ECM motor and the old one has PSC, that motor might die in 2 years. You want to know that up front and let the clients know so that they aren't upset at you later. And then there could be some other tests you want to do too. But when you have your head wrapped around those things, you can help clients understand the odds of success. So if they're only going to change the HVAC, which is going to be very common, we're seeing this even in Cleveland, about half of houses can simply swap a furnace out for a heat pump and be done, move on with life. But if they use crummy single stage stuff, probably is not going to help anything because, again, it's going to be banging on and banging off. Their mean radiant temperature is not going to be good. They're not going to be comfortable. So you let them know, well, we can do that, but the odds aren't real high. And if they choose that and they saw this, who owns the responsibility for that decision? It's not you anymore. It's them. Very critical. You want to transfer responsibility whenever possible. We call it responsibly avoiding responsibility. Don't get hung for something that you can't control. All right, then you can help them understand, like this is for instance, this is what we call our testy McNormal face report. It's a pretty standard thing that we see, which is a 2-story house that's a little bit leaky, but not bad, and where HVAC can likely fix a big chunk of the problems. So if they put in the right size variable speed piece of equipment, it's likely going to help their things a lot. But again, you're seeing 60 to 80% odds. So pretty good odds, but it's not 100%. So you still don't own all of that. And then some houses, they're just going to need more work to get there. They're going to need more of a full energy audit and a full workup. And so you want to give them that option. And once the goals are prioritized and you know what the house needs, then you can ask what they are worth to solve. So again, this is a value thing. The best question we found is, if you were renting this house, how much more would you pay a month in rents to make those problems go away? $100 a month works out to $14,000 over 15 years with 4% interest. So that's the kind of thing that we're looking at. So at $100 a month, there's usually something you can do for someone. And if they only tell you 25, again, they're whining. So it's very helpful to understand what the constraint is there. And again, this is value. This is not cost. So what it costs to fix something could be very different than what the value is, and you want to understand that up front. And then you can also let them know with different budgets what the odds of success are. So this is kind of tied to the other options that I showed earlier. So $70 a month, that's single stage equipment, not very likely. $100 a month, that'll buy a variable speed piece of equipment, or at least it will out east where I live, maybe not in California, but $100 a month gives you pretty good odds. And then if they really want to go deep, they're going to have to cough up some real money. So $300 a month. You give them an idea of what it's going to take to do stuff. And you can collect enough information to have a pretty good gut on this. Is it perfect? No, but there is no perfection. Homes are very, very complicated, interconnected systems. They're systems of systems, really. So all you can do is do your best. So that's why we think in odds of success, we never give guarantees. We never let anybody know that there is certainty of something, because there isn't. It's just odds. So if you do a good job fleshing out this Venn, you're going to find that clients are much more likely to spend more than what they would have otherwise. So we're seeing closing ratios in the 70 to 80% range and 50% bumps in average tickets. So from the $10,000 range up to the $15,000 or even $20,000 range. This is a good thing, and you get paid to do these. So here's a blatant plug. So this is for HVAC 2.0 program we're developing right now. We've codified the entire process that I'm showing here, and you can try it out for free. And the reports are only $25 a piece. So, but at least you can try it and see what you think. And there's the link, hvac20.com/early adopters. Give it a shot. You can rip off and duplicate if you like. There's a lot more to it beyond just this, but that'll get you up to some kind of speed. And then if you want to see the full report that I've been showing little pieces of here, it's bit.ly/testy McNormal face. So again, when it comes to selling heat pumps, First, there's education, and then asking questions is usually the answer. So you want to understand, what are clients trying to do, what are their goals, what does their house need, and what is their budget for reaching those goals. And to underscore, the first rule of Heat Pump Fight Club is we don't talk about heat pumps. So again, don't dig into the technical details. They don't care. They want to know how their problems can be solved, and right size variable speed equipment, which is almost always going to land you in heat pump territory, is the way to get there. And again, you're selling comfort. That's what they want, and you ask them what they want. So you never sell, you just ask them what they want. And you make sure that whatever system you offer them is capable of providing the 6 functions of HVAC, and they're fairly likely to take that option. And the second rule is always offer a heat pump, even if it's part of a hybrid. So there you go. To sum up, selling heat pumps. Education comes first. Help clients understand the different types of HVAC and the 6 functions of HVAC. And then they're going to be much more likely to be open to buying better pieces of equipment that will provide better comfort and have high likelihood of helping solve problems that they have in their home. And then you ask a whole bunch of questions about what they actually want to solve and what their budget is. So that's the basics of that. So you sell by not selling. You sell by educating. You sell by asking questions. That's how it happens. And very seldom are you going to want to come out hard directly for heat pumps. This is a problem that needs to be flanked. It's not one that is best solved head on. Okay, so that's selling heat pumps. Next video will be on sizing them. Thanks again. I'm Nate Adams. See you shortly.